Hey everyone, Jason here again. Alright, welcome to another episode of What Really Irks Me, episode 2. And for this week, I'm going to talk about the obvious topic of the day is the NFL replacement referees and the call from last night from the Seahawks and Packers game. Alright, so I was watching the game yesterday like everybody else, monitoring my fantasy team and whatnot, and just enjoying the game. And you know, when that play was when he threw that ball, when Russell Wilson threw that ball, I thought, looking back at it, I'm like, oh my god, it's an awesome catch. And then they slow it down, and you look at the replay, and it's obvious that the defensive back, M.D. Jennings, had the ball. He had the ball to his chest, and you could clearly see that if you slow it down enough, and you take your time looking at it, you can see that. And when the referees, when they said they were going to review it, I'm thinking, okay, this is probably going to be reviewed. They're obviously going to review it, but they're going to overturn it, and it would be a Packer interception and a Packer win. But obviously not. And I don't know. I've watched the replay, I don't know, countless times now on ESPN through last night, and then watching a little bit of coverage on Outside the Lines now. I just still don't understand what this referee saw and how he could, the confusion is what got me. And it's not only this play; it was in this game. About 3 or 4 plays before that, the Seahawks had the ball. They were going into the Packer territory, and Sidney Rice bombed, down the left side of the field by the sideline there, and it was obvious it was an offensive pass interference call. He was holding on to him, basically riding his back is what I thought I saw, and and they called it on the defensive back, which I think is completely, they got to slow it down. I'm sure you could look at that, and just change the call on there, I guess. But what really strikes me is today is the NFL. Watching, like I said, this Outside Lines coverage, the NFL finally made a statement about this, and had made, this has been going on for a couple weeks now, since week 1, obviously, going into week 4 this week. It's not only this game, it's a whole bunch of games. This is a big focus right now. The NFL's statement about this, saying that the receiver, they're sticking along with these referees, which I guess is what they're supposed to do, since, but nobody agrees with it, is what I'm saying, what a whole bunch of other people are saying on Twitter, and you read these tweets from these players who have played, and I don't know about the Seahawks as much, but the Packers definitely. You got class acts like Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers saying it's despicable, and I don't know when this is going. Excuse me. I'm at the point now where what's going to change this? Is it going to be a death? An unfortunate death? Is it going to be when somebody's paralyzed? Like there was a blindsided hit. I think it was last weekend, and I forget. I think it was the Seahawks and Cowboys game. The same type of thing. The hit, he hit him shoulder to helmet, and he was out for. He wasn't out. He never lost consciousness, but he was down on the ground for a couple minutes, obviously, and there wasn't a flag on the play, which I don't get it. It's not the fact of the matter that there wasn't a flag. It's that the referees just didn't see it, and for whatever reason, they're not in the maybe they're not in the positioning like the normal guys would be. I'm not saying, I don't know, and I know it was when the regular referees were there, even last year, and there was a call like this. All of us may be on Twitter, whatnot, on Facebook, YouTube, whatever. We may have a little hatred towards the guys, but at least they're gonna own up and say, "Oh, we made a mistake." And then, so as far as I haven't heard from any referees from this crew from last night. They had, of course, they officiated. I heard the Redskins and Rams game the week before, where Steven Jackson, that call was botched. And it was a horrible call where they didn't give the touchdown. I thought for sure in that game that he was down, and then of course Steven Jackson got pulled the rest of the game. But I don't know, like I say, I don't know what's going to happen to this league. I mean, the league is so... I'm not going to say that Roger Goodell's fault, but he is working for the owners. And these owners have to realize that eventually, and I've heard this on TV and heard this on online, as like I've said before, that these fans aren't going to stick around for this anymore, because not only are they mad that their team may be affected by this, they're mad because it's affecting... The game times are 9 to 11 minutes longer than normal, which me as a fan on Sunday afternoons watching this, it's just, you know, it's what's taking forever. It's, you know, if you slow the replay down, you look at it once, it's an obvious call, and you know, these guys just don't seem prepared. They're high school refs, obviously. They may be, you know, Pop Warner refs or you know, below that even. I don't know, but I think that the NFL needs to get off their high horse and, you know, just man up and just give these referees what they want, because these referees, I know they want pension plans, they want you know, basically like insurance, essentially, like you would get for a regular job. That's my interpretation of what they want. May not be entirely correct, but they should give them what they want. You know, they should trust these guys, because if they don't, this is what's going to happen. There's going to be backlash, and it was a great game last night. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say it wasn't for sure, but you know, people aren't going to watch this stuff, and me included. The only reason I was honestly probably watching the last part of that game was because I had Aaron Rodgers in my fantasy team, and you know, there was implications with that, obviously, and I'm Marshawn Lynch and whatnot, and so yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, there's people going to walk out, and they just need to change this up. And another thing that strikes me as being extremely just, you know, clueless about what's going on. Golden Tate, the wide receiver that caught the ball, when he was interviewed after the game yesterday on Monday Night Football on ESPN, he basically said, I don't know what you know, it's obviously what he's supposed to do is say, I don't know what you're talking about when they ask him these questions. Did you push off? Because if you were to look at the replay, slow it down to basically nothing, and even if you don't, you can see it. He pushes off, and I've seen pictures, like, he pushes off the defensive back, and to me, that should be a pass interference call in the end zone. So even if he caught the ball, it should have been called. You know, or, like I said, the play before with Sidney Rice, that should have been called. Or, I mean, you know, there's 3 or 4 examples of there, and even last week there was a, for the Broncos game on, I think it was Monday night, there was, Brandon Stokely, there was a call, an interference call, and it was against the defense. I didn't see it. And it's not just these interference calls that are basically, you know, screwing the game, I want to say, but there's holding calls that when you look at the replay, there's no holding. There was a call on I think it was the right tackle or something yesterday on Clay Matthews for the Seahawks. You know, the Seahawks had the ball and Clay Matthews was on defense, obviously, and there was just no holding. He had him for maybe a second, around like this. You're holding around the neck, kind of like that, and he had him, but he let him go. So I mean, it wasn't like he was forcing him to the ground. And there's these referees after the game. Another thing that real fast strikes me is last week. Was it last week? Yeah, last week when the Giants played the Buccaneers, they had no control over that end of the game situation where the Buccaneers went after the kneel down, which to me that's a different video, but that makes no sense to me, that whole situation. But these referees had no control over the situation, because these players were starting to fight. And that's what I'm seeing out of these referees have no control. Go on Twitter, go look at this if you don't believe me. Obviously, if you're a football fan, you realize what this is doing to the league. And let's all please hope this is going to be resolved fast, because, like I said, this is ruining the integrity for me of the game. And I think, honestly, ESPN, I've criticized them in the past. ESPN is doing a great job covering this, because they are boiling. They are trying to pressure the NFL. That's my assumption. They're trying to pressure the NFL into changing their mind, possibly, and you know, these owners and whatever. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. I'll maybe make another video next week if something happens. Hopefully not. But thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day.